rolling hills were not enough to capture her attention. The letter taunted her from its place on the desk. Was she really going to write to a murderer? Her family would be horrified if they found out. She had taken up various volunteer positions in her time, but nothing like this. Once she had contacted the rehabilitation centre, it had all happened remarkably quickly, and, in hindsight, Catherine had been surprised at how easy the process had been. She had thought they would do intensive background checks, but they had simply sent her a list of prisoners for her to review, interviewed her over the phone, and asked if she had a preference. When she saw Michael's profile, she instantly felt a connection. She couldn't explain it, not yet, anyway, but instinctively she knew it had to be him. As her tea cooled beside her, Catherine forced herself to refocus, taking in the familiarity of her living room. Soft lemon furnishings, echoing the sunlight that filled the room, made it feel spacious yet comfortable. The coffee table, artfully arranged, held a stack of beautiful books, a small bouquet of flowers, and a white trinket box, which had been a wedding gift. The bookshelf was home to a variety of cookbooks, novels, and travel guides, interspersed with silver-framed photos of family, celebrations, and holidays. A plate she had picked up from an antiques fair took centre stage, its blue, intricate swirls bringing to mind warm, exotic destinations, such as Morocco and Egypt, although she had never been to either. All in all, it was the perfect mix of style and family life that many of her friends had envied over the years. In fact, it was right here in this room that her friend Ruth, while admiring the blue plate, had mentioned the inmate letter-writing charity. When Catherine had learnt that it was in partnership with HM Prison Durham, the seed had been planted. The living room was one of Catherine's favourite rooms in the house, yet she always had a sense that it lacked a certain something. Over the years, she had scoured interior magazines and high-end home shops to find that missing piece. A lamp, a picture, a mirror, but she hadn't found it yet, and she had a feeling she never would. Catherine began to feel restless and automatically started to straighten the room, tweaking a cushion, teasing flowers into full bloom, retrieving a stray hair tie, one of Helen's that had slipped under the sofa. She gained great satisfaction from getting things done and took enormous pride in her organisational skills, both at home and in her volunteer work. Yet, despite her efforts that day, Catherine felt distracted and reluctantly sat back down at her desk. She knew she wouldn't be able to settle until she had made a decision on the inmate volunteer programme. She reached out, feeling the crisp whiteness of the letter, her fingers pausing ever so slightly as they traced over the script of today's date, 15th of August, 2010. She hadn't used her best writing set, that was for special occasions, but she had used the next best thing, which was a quality paper with a pretty floral border of daffodils and primroses. She wasn't sure if such prettiness would taunt him or inspire him. Bizarrely, the rehabilitation centre recommended writing on plain paper, but she had decided to take a chance, as it was one of her favourite writing sets. Having folded the paper into thirds, she placed it carefully into the envelope, its matching floral pattern giving her a pleasing sense of harmony. As she sealed it, her hands shook slightly, and she felt the sharp slice of a paper cut across her skin. A small droplet of blood fell and smudged, its rich red stain distinct against the purity of the paper. Catherine covered the smear with a first-class stamp and quickly headed out to the postbox before she could procrastinate any longer. Chapter 2. Alison. He was gorgeous, in that silent but thoughtful, studious sort of way. Not Alison's normal type, that was for sure. Did she even have a type? Alison thought to herself. And certainly a lot older, maybe between 35 and 40 years old, she guessed, which to her 18 years seemed ancient. But her law lecturer, or the professor, as she had fondly nicknamed him, the Americanism referring to his Hollywood.